Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share with you two things. Number one, it's the giveaway day where I tell you who wins the giveaway from Experimental Perfume Club. I am giving away, in partnership with them, one bottle, 50 mils of Sable Gris, and this happens to be my favorite fragrance right now of my whole entire collection. I am in love with this. There is literally nothing like it. The closest thing that I could think of that this would be kind of similar to would be something like a Gris Charnel by BDK, but this is way smoother, way more rich, way more like, it's just like, seriously, I love it. And this one's way more long lasting. So this one is so amazing, but it's got that kind of understated, almost like a tea-like feel. Very smooth. Love it. So I'm so excited to be able to share this with one of you. Now, I used a random YouTube comment checker to find the name, and it's up on the screen here. It's up on the screen as well, but I think it is Spiridula Arcadino. 6419 is the name. So congratulations to you. Please DM me on Instagram, or you can email me. My email is in the description, but it's probably just easier to DM me on Instagram, and then I can get your address and your particulars, and then Experimental Perfume Club will be sending that fragrance to you. So thank you again to EPC for their willingness to partner with me so that one of you guys can share in my favorite fragrance. I hope, Spiridula, that you actually enjoy this fragrance. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about today is I tried quite a few different fragrances over the past little while. Some are ones that Hessie brought back. She went to Accents, so she brought back a bunch of perfume samples, but there's also a couple Middle Eastern ones that I wanted to share with you. So some new upcoming things, some things that are going kind of viral, and I wanted to weigh in and give you my opinion. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. Okay, the first fragrance that I want to bring to you is Wave Child by Room 1015. This is their latest release, and first of all, I love the color of the bottle. So the bottle is just gorgeous. I can't wait to put it beside my Cherry Punk, and I'm definitely getting this one. I just love it. So spoiler alert, definitely getting it. So the primary focus on this one is watermelon. This is the perfect spring summer fragrance, and I am in love with it. Now, watermelon is tricky for me, so I don't always like it. I really love L'Impératrice. I think that's watermelon. It has a melony type vibe. I like melon, but sometimes watermelon to me is just too, I don't know, it's weird. Actually, I had a weird experience with a watermelon, and it kind of wrecked me for watermelon for quite some time. Seriously, this is nuts. My sister that lives out of the city, Coralie, she came to town. All of them were staying at our house. So there were 5 of them that were staying at our house. And my other sister, Brunel, all of us and our kids went out for July 1st, which is Canada Day. And so we had gotten a big watermelon that we were going to eat, but we didn't have time. And so we headed to the fireworks. It was really hot outside, and I didn't have air conditioning, so it was really hot inside. So we go to the fireworks, we come home at about midnight. Everyone is uber tired. And I walk into the kitchen, and it's sploosh. And here the watermelon had exploded. I don't even know how that's possible. I've never heard of that before. I didn't wrap elastic bands around it or anything like that, and the whole thing exploded. So there was liquid all over the floor, like a thick layer of watermelon juice all over the floor. So it took us about an hour to get that cleaned up because it seriously made the biggest mess. And we were so tired, so all I did was throw the watermelon carcass, and it was like it kind of had gone like this. So I threw it into the sink, and I thought, I'll deal with it in the morning. Like, why I didn't just put it in a bag and throw it outside, I have no idea. But it was really late. We were really tired. So anyway, next morning I get up to throw this watermelon carcass out, and somehow the watermelon had gone putrid. Like, it was sour, it was weird, it smelled rotten. I've never smelt anything like that in my life. Like, to this day, it was one of the worst smells that I've ever smelled. So ever since then, if the watermelon has a weird offness to it somehow, I can't handle it on me. So a lot of times if there's a watermelon body care, I won't go for it. So I was unsure about how I would feel about Wave Child, and I am in love with it. It definitely is watermelon, but it's sweet, it's light, it's fresh. It's absolutely perfect for spring and summer. It's one of those kind of airy, fresh fragrances that you could put on. The longevity is good on it, but you're gonna just have that kind of light, kind of summery smell on your skin for the day. So it starts with lemon, mandarin orange, and regular orange. The middle notes are watermelon and coconut. I don't really notice the coconut. It's just a really smooth blend, but definitely that watermelon is prominent. And then it has amber gris, amber wood, and cacao in the base. It doesn't stay super watermelony the whole entire time. It goes a little bit sweeter, a slight powdery, but quite fresh. So it's just sweet, it's airy, it's fun, and it's reminiscent of something like Trois l'Impératrice by Dolce & Gabbana, kind of in the same family. So that watery, melony, sweet, slightly musky feel. I feel like this has a slight musk to it, even though it's not recognized in the notes at all, but it feels a little bit musky. So this is a fragrance that isn't going to get too cloying, and I really enjoy it. I actually asked for it from the company, so they are going to be sending that to me, so I'm so excited. And yeah, to me, it's just a fun fragrance for summer. It's not super deep, it's not super complex, it's just fun. So I really enjoyed it. The next one I want to talk about is Teriaq by Lattafa. Now, this fragrance was created by Quentin Biche. He's a fantastic perfumer. Everybody has been hyping up this fragrance. So I was super excited to try it. And so one of my friends had it. To be honest, I can't remember. It was either Danny or Val have it. They have this one and the other Middle Eastern one I'm going to talk about. But I put it on the skin, wore it for like the afternoon, evening, and I found it was a very nice fragrance. Everybody is hyping this fragrance up. Oh, it's so amazing. To me, it wasn't amazing. I actually believe that both Danny, Val, actually all the people that I know of that have smelt Teriaq really, really love it. So I don't love it. I don't love it. So I'm going to read you the notes. There's a ton of them. There's caramel, bitter almond, apricot, pink pepper, honey, rhubarb, white flowers, rose, vanilla, leather, musk, vetiver, and labdanum. It was a nice fragrance. So it was fruity. I definitely got that apricot feel. I got a little bit of that caramel, but to me, it feels like it's an ISOE super fragrance. So sometimes fragrances, they put ISOE super. Juliet Has a Gun fragrances have a lot of that in it. And it instantly does something weird in my head, and it makes me feel a little bit sick to my stomach. So this was, for all intents and purposes, a nice fragrance. But to me, it wasn't groundbreaking. It was definitely a designer feeling fragrance. So nothing overly niche-y about it. It was a beautiful peachy white floral. So kind of in the same vein is a My Way fragrance, where you get some fruitiness and then some white floral, like the Montpellier ones. It performed like that on my skin. So the opening was nice. I like the caramel in it. I like the notes, but I don't feel it's very well blended. I feel like it's kind of scratchy. I feel like there are other fragrances out there that I like more. But I can see that this is mass appealing and many, many people will like it. So it certainly wasn't a favorite of mine. I wouldn't purchase it, but everybody I know likes it. So take it for what it's worth. I guess that's the thing. Like so often, like I'll share with you my likes and stuff like that. But if I don't like a fragrance, I'm going to tell you everybody's tastes are different. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it smells, honestly, it reminds me of any sort of a happy, mass appealing designer fragrance that's out there. Even kind of smells like some of the, you know, the fruity floral celebrity fragrances. It to me feels like that. So there's nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't for me and it didn't sit well on my skin. So Hesse tried it on. It smelled amazing on her. It didn't smell amazing on me. So again, sometimes my skin chemistry does weird things with those fruity floral ones. So it's not for me for sure. One that my friend Janet gave me to try is one called Closeup by Olfactive Studios. I have tried Still Life in Rio. Absolutely love that one. I haven't tried a whole lot from Olfactive Studio, but Closeup, I am totally getting a whole bottle of it. It is such an amazing cherry fragrance, like fantastic. Closeup was created in 2016, which was before Tom Ford Lost Cherry came out. So it was kind of ahead of its time, and the cherry is so freaking amazing. It reminds me a bit of the Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but I've always been like, oh, I compare everything to the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Well, this one came before it and it's just as good, if not better. So I love it. It's got cherry, spices, coffee, white tobacco, patchouli, atlas cedar, rose, tonka bean, amber, and musk. I just thought it was uber sexy. The cherry stayed the whole entire wear of the perfume. It lasted forever on the skin, like over 8 hours. Not sure about the projection, but I am in love with it. Like, it is addictive. It's perfect for fall and winter. So super excited about it. Definitely one I want to add to my collection. The only thing that I'll say is that reading on Fragrantica, some people really feel like it smelt animalic and a little bit dirty in the opening. So almost a little bit poo-like in the opening, and then everyone enjoys the dry down. I didn't notice that. I just got that cherry spice, smells a little boozy. It's just freaking awesome. Right up there, like honestly, it's right up there with Cherry Punk as far as an excellent cherry fragrance, but it's something a little different. So really enjoyed it. Super sexy. Love it. Kind of bad girl fragrance. So impressed. Definitely unisex. Definitely want it. Next fragrance was a sample that Hesse brought back from Accents for me. And it was by Teriaq Paris. And it is called I See the Clouds Go By. Now, first of all, the bottle on these is really fascinating and cool. So love the bottle. The fragrance was absolutely beautiful and it would be perfect for spring and summer. I really enjoyed, like, there's kind of a black currant feel, slightly citrusy. It kind of reminded me of the Aqua Allegoria line by Guerlain. So it's kind of got that same feel, but with this little bit of a black currant, almost bergamot feel. I don't think it has black currant. I know it has cassis, which is, I think, the leaves. But it still has that kind of fresh black currant punch to it. It simply has cassis, cherry blossom, and musk in it. But yeah, it gives me that Aqua Allegoria feel. I felt like it lasted on my skin for way longer than the Aqua Allegorias. So if you like that line, this is a beautiful option to check out. Super fresh, invigorating, perfect for hot climates. Gorgeous. Another one that I tried was Camouflage by Simone Andreoli. I love Weissbaum by Simone Andreoli. This one I wasn't as keen on. So love Weissbaum. This was a rose oud. I think it has some ebony in it. Smells almost incensey. Reminds me a little bit of Holly Rose, except I like Holly Rose by Room 1015 better than the Simone Andreoli one. Camouflage, it was rosy, resinous, not overly sweet, very gothic feeling, and it smelled like a fragrance that a vampire would wear. So a sexy but very vicious vampire would wear Camouflage. So it wasn't my favorite. It was neat. If you like rose oud incense type fragrances that are kind of a little bit heavy gothic, that feel, you may really like this one, but for me, it just wasn't for me. It's definitely a DNA that I've kind of smelt before. So I've got one in my collection like that. Definitely don't need another one. And the last fragrance that I want to talk about is Caramel Cascade by Taskeen. Now this is hugely hyped up on the internet, and people are saying that it's similar to Giardini di Toscano's Bianco Latte. So that's the claim. So it has caramel, milk, tonka bean, honey, vanilla, and white musk. I have a little bit of a pet peeve these days, and maybe I don't have a right to have a pet peeve on this, but it is a little bit of a pet peeve. So I see tons of videos where they're like, oh, this smells just like Bianco Latte. It doesn't smell like Bianco Latte. So I like, if something is gonna smell just like Bianco Latte, it needs to smell just like Bianco Latte. I want to not be able to tell the difference. Definitely can tell a difference between Caramel Cascade and Bianco Latte. They're not even close to me in quality. They are in the same genre. So there's still kind of a vanilla, caramely, gourmand feel. So I can see the similarity. Distant cousins is maybe how I would put it. So I don't mind using a fragrance as a point of reference. I never mind that. I think that's actually helpful. What I don't think is helpful is to tell you guys this smells just like this. Because then you're disappointed. If you know what Bianco Latte smells like, you're going to be disappointed. So this one is definitely caramelly, it's vanilla-y, it's gourmand, it's sweet. It didn't work on my skin either. So I was really, really excited about trying this one, and I was going to blind buy it, but Valor Danny, which I can't remember which one had it, but you know, I tried it on the skin. I felt like it has a little bit of a synthetic vibe that feels almost a bit, I think it was actually Danny that said this, that it's, and I'll leave their channels down below. Both of them have Instagram channels. Hesse actually has a fragrance channel now too. So all of their Instagram channels will be linked down below. But someone said it smelt a little bit doll heady. And I agree. There's a bit of a synthetic, almost plastic feel to Caramel Cascade. I liked it and I didn't like it. So it's not one that I would gravitate towards. It wasn't bad. Lots of people are loving it again. It's just not my vibe. It's too synthetic. It's nothing as amazing as the Giardini di Toscano Bianco Latte. That one is thick, rich, powdery, a little bit like Rice Krispies, sweet, delicious, great vanilla. It's a great vanilla fragrance. This one, more caramel, a little bit of a plastic synthetic feel. It's reminiscent of a little bit of a powdery vanilla, but it's way smoother rather than powdery. Lasted a decent amount of time on the skin. I think a lot of people would like it. I just wasn't a fan of it. So those were my thoughts on those ones. Tell me if you've tried any of these fragrances. Please weigh in and tell me what you think. I'm telling you my experience from these fragrances. Some of them were amazing, some of them weren't. You could talk to 100 other people that will have the exact opposite experience as me. So I think it's really important to weigh in, especially like weigh in if you agree, weigh in if you don't agree, share what your experience is, because that's so helpful if people are actually considering to buy. And I don't care if you are spending $250 on a fragrance or paying $30 on a fragrance, you want to get something that you really love. And $30 is $30. So yeah, that's it. If you guys are interested, I do know that Perfume Online more and more has decants of the Middle Eastern fragrances. So that's definitely an excellent website to check out if you're interested in the Middle Eastern fragrances, but you don't want to buy a full bottle, you want to test it out first. They have, I think, 5 mils, 10 mils, and the full bottles on a lot of them these days. So check out their site. Again, everything will be linked down below. And that is it. I hope you have an amazing week. Again, congratulations to Spiridula. I hope that that's how I pronounce your name. And again, thank you to Experimental Perfume Club for making this giveaway possible. Have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.